Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
All righty. Hey, Mission Service Companies. This is Tanner Thetford, but here's what I want to talk to you about. He does landscaping, pools, all that kind of stuff, but he sprays and kills weeds. And so, and I'm not just talking about the Permian Basin and the pad sites and the stack yards. Up here, Levelland, Sundown, Post, they'll go anywhere and take care of your weed problem and guarantee the work. And if you've got a bunch of pad sites, they'll make you a heck of a deal, better than you've got now. So give them a call and get them set up to come take care of all your weed problems. 806-632-6325 is the number, 632-6325. Also, West Texas State Bank. By the way, I saw one down in Kermit. We'll talk more about them in a second, but
yeah, they're around.
Great people.
Yeah, all great.
Lubbock Sports Station with Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby on Double T 97.3.
West Texas State Bank, this is John Grist, who's the head guy, Chris Comer, and Jimmy Carmichael. Jimmy, by the way, went and got his hair cut at Joe Heffley's. And Joe said, when I saw Joe, he says, I cut Jimmy's hair and Joe Barnes' hair when they were playing at Tech.
Oh, wow.
That's how long he's been cutting them. And
that's over 50 years ago.
Yeah. And Jimmy's back here, and he's at West Texas State Bank. They would love to help you. And the way
Jimmy's got a good head of hair, doesn't he?
He does. He's got a bunch of hair.
See, if you look at us, you go, I'm not sure I want to go to Heffley because we don't have much hair. But Jimmy's got a good head of hair.
Anyway, but the way he describes it, John Grist, he goes, they're just friendly. The friendly West Texas Bank.
Trying to help you.
And you wait till you go in there, y'all. 30th and Slide Road. Just walk in the door. Just say, I want to see y'all's new facility here. And I promise you'll be impressed at West Texas State Bank. All right.
Hey, real quickly, let's go down memory lane here. 10 years ago on Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby, I'm fixing to whip through some of our guests. And this is 10 years ago. And this is in January. We used to start off each year with Coach Knight. Coach Bobby Knight would be on our first show each year for probably 6 or 7 years in a row. But we had him, and most people got to where they liked Coach Knight a lot better than when he first got here. And I attribute some of that to the show that we sort of personalized him, that he wasn't this, it's not that he was this chummy, wonderful ball of fur. He was just sort of a tough old guy, but people got to where they liked him a lot more, I think partly because of this show. They got to see another side of him. All right, the next guest we had on, Craig James. You think people took to that well?
They loved that one.
They loved them some Craig James. Then I'm going to whip through these. Mike Gustafson, still in our lives. Brent Aycock, he was Aycock and Fowler. They sold to a national firm. Jerry Gray, he's still in our life. Chris Sneed was just on a few weeks ago, and he was on 10 years ago. Grant Dukes. You remember Grant?
Yeah.
Levelland, Texas. But I still see Grant time to time out on the golf circuit. Gerald Myers, he was on just not too long ago. And 10 years ago. And Tyrone Thurman. Cody Davis. I think Cody was with the Rams when we had him on, and really enjoyed him. Scott Blakely, that's another one of our advertisers, J&W Services. Danny Servance. You remember Danny Servance?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did his games at Estacada.
All right, he was the new Odessa High football coach when we had him on. And then Davis Webb, Colorado Buffalo quarterback? Yeah. I guess we had him on when he'd already left.
That would make sense.
Yeah, we did that. We do that sort of thing. Blair Webster. You know who Blair Webster is? If you guess this, you win the prize for the day. Blair Webster was
Jimmy's boy.
Davis Webb's girlfriend.
Oh.
So we had them both in the studio. and then Nathan Blackwood, Lubbock Christian baseball coach, and still is 10 years later. All right, that was January. Next week we'll go over February. All right, you were asking me a question during the break. Do you want me to answer it?
How many teams go to the Big 12 baseball tournament?
I think and I don't know why it would be, but I think it's 10.
I think it looks like
12.
It's 12.
I think it's 12. There's
12.
14 teams that play. 2 of them don't make it, so there's 12, which
12
makes a lot more sense than 10. You know, in the old days, in the Southwest Conference, there were 8 teams and 4 teams made it. And they had UT, A&M, and Arkansas. So basically, your other 5 were playing for that other spot. So 4 out of the 8. Now it's 12 out of 14. And I'm going to tell you this. I think more conferences should do something like this. Because if you're 13th or 14th, you don't need to be going to the conference tournament. Sorry. I mean, you just didn't earn the right. You know, a lot of conferences try to squeeze everybody in there. Now, all of a sudden, you've watered down the end of that tournament to where, I mean, it's 19 to 17, and you got guys pitching that really weren't pitchers, but you're completely out of pitching. So I really think if out of 14 teams, if they narrowed it down to 8, that would be fair. And if you can't finish 8th out of 14 teams, you probably didn't earn the right to go to the playoffs. So anyway, what David asked me during the break is Tech going to make the tournament? And my answer is wait till 10 o'clock tonight, and I'll give you an answer. If we win 2 games today, I will say, yes, we're going to the conference tournament. If we lose 2 games today, I will say, no, we're not going to the conference tournament, nor should we. If we split, it's going to be close. We're right on that bubble.
And we're at Baylor. And Baylor is ahead of us.
And we've been rained out, so now you're sitting around a motel while they're going and doing they're taking Lucy to the 5 and where did Barney used to take Thelma Lou? The Bluebird? You know, they're going to the Bluebird Cafe and doing their regular life, and you're hanging around a motel vegetating. So I think it's advantage Baylor right now.
Well, Baylor's 9 and 12, and we're 6 and 15. And Arizona's the one we can catch easier. They're 7 and 14.
And I think we've got to
catch one of them.
Well, and we've got the tiebreaker on Arizona. So
Arizona has Houston left. But today, right now, they're at Kansas, who's leading the league. Then they finish at Oklahoma State. I think we got a great chance to catch Arizona.
Yeah.
But we got to win. We ain't going to catch anybody if we lose.
Yeah. I don't think we can catch anybody if we don't win another game. But
no, we can't.
But there's going to be some that try to pass us on the way down. And I think Arizona, who you said has Oklahoma State and Kansas, well, they should have played yesterday.
They did.
Or who won?
Let me see if the score's here. I don't think it is.
Big B, get on that. Kansas, Arizona.
On Friday.
It's gonna be close, but we're gonna. If we win 4 out of 6, I'll say we will get in. If we win, how many we got left? 6.
We've got Baylor for 3. We got BYU for 3, and we're at Cincinnati to finish for 3.
Okay, we got 9
games left.
If we're 5 and 4, I'll say we will probably make the tournament. If we're 4 and 5, flip a coin, and if we're 3 and 6, I don't think we can make it going 3 and 6.
Kansas beat Arizona 4-2 yesterday.
Okay, so that's good for Tech.
That's good.
And it sounds like Arizona used one of their good pitchers last night. All right, here's something I came away from, and Terry and I even talked about this. She goes, how many innings is this when we were watching it last night? I said they play 7. I said I really honestly think baseball should play 7. College, not the pros, should play 7 innings. Because by the time you get to the end of a 3-game tournament, 3-game series, I mean, most teams don't have 11 or 12 pitchers. It just waters it down. Now, if you play 7 innings, and I'll tell you what, it'd change the game too, because right now everybody's trying to work the pitcher's count so that everybody has to throw their second pitcher or their third reliever. So they're taking – it's not a very exciting game that's being played right now in college baseball. It's just 3.5-hour games because they're trying to work the count, get pitch count up and all that. And if you're only going 7 innings, you're going to have a good pitcher for all 7 innings. You're not going to be throwing the coach's kid or the biggest booster's kid or anything like that. You're going to have good pitching for 3 7-inning games. And really, you water it down with 9 innings. And that's not going to happen. We're going to keep playing 9 innings. So here's what we need to do now. We need to call the entire strike zone umpires. That will make the game more exciting too. If it's close, you better hit it because it's going to be a strike. You can't just sit there and work full count 2-2 every time you're up. So I say call the entire strike zone. That will help the game. You won't have 4-inning games. Usually if it's a 4-hour game or a 3.5-hour game, you can look at the plate umpire, and he's usually the reason for that. He's allowing them to stand there and take close pitches because they know he ain't going to call it. So anyway.
Tech softball game today against Baylor is on ESPN at 1:30.
Oh, the big one.
The ESPN. So that's
a big game.
That's great.
It's a big game for Baylor. They're like Tech baseball. They're trying to get into the tournament.
Yeah.
If they win today, I'm going to say they're going to get into the tournament. If they lose today, it's going to be
and they're going to lose today.
And they're probably going to. And history would tell you this, that Coach has not lost a series ever. In the history of ever, he has not lost a series. And they tee it up today, and if they lose, it will be the first time that it's happened. And Baylor's, they may be 8th or 9th or 10th in the conference. They're good. It's good baseball, good softball, without a doubt. Now, if you'd ask me if softball is going to make the tournament, I'd say yes.
You've got to feel for that one.
Now, what they're playing for is they want to host a super regional. And I think they're sort of on the bubble of that because their schedule has not been – their RPI is like it's double digits right now. And there's only 8 super regionals. So
I'll be amazed if we don't have a super regional. I really will.
Well, I think it would be the NCAA sending a message about, the money into things if we don't, because obviously number 2 team in the country – should host a super regional.
Hey, does it bother you? They should, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They should host a regional, super regional. Does it bother you when you watch the NFL draft, the first couple of 3 rounds? Roger Goodell is there. Have you noticed how long he hugs these guys when they get picked?
You think it's a little creepy?
Well, it's long. I mean, he's not like their dad or nothing. He's just the commissioner.
He's an overpaid commissioner is what he is.
And he hugs them and hugs them. I don't know what the deal is.
I think it's.
That's fine to hug.
The Masters is a tradition like none other.
Yeah, that's
this is just a tradition. It's not like none other. Well, it may be like none other.
It's almost like, how long can I hug this guy until he would say, "Oh, that's
long enough.
That's enough.
That's enough, Coach."
But you hate to push away the commissioner of the NFL. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe everybody thinks it's fine. It's just.
I think a big old handshake. Or
there you go. I'm all for that.
Or a high five.
I think it's great.
Elbows or.
Speaking of the NFL draft, and of course we had amazing what Texas Tech.
Wasn't that fun?
It was so fun. Yeah. So fun. Congratulations to Baron Morton for being selected, and really proud for him. But I'm proud of all of our guys. You talk about David Bailey, number 2 pick.
All right, I've got an interesting deal on that. I'll get to here in just a second. Go ahead and finish your comment.
Well, I don't have them all listed here in front of me.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Well, Jacob Rodriguez went, and we got a bunch of people.
Yeah, I'm going to go through the Tech people. I'm not going to go through all the teams, but Arizona Cardinals took Reggie Virgil, and they took him in the 5th round, 143rd pick. And these rating people that did this, now you're going to get a dozen, 100 different ones, but this one, and this isn't David and I, this is people that supposedly know what they're talking about. They gave that pick a B. A B like boy, a B. It's a good pick for the Arizona Cardinals. All right? And they were a B minus overall. Now then, the next Tech guy here is...
You working backwards?
I'm just going through the alphabetical draft. Started with the Arizona Cardinals. Now then, I'm up to the Carolina Panthers, who took Lee Hunter, defensive tackle, Texas Tech, 2nd round, 49th pick. And that was, David, an A+. They gave that pick to get Lee Hunter in the 2nd round. That was an A-plus pick for them. Now then, we're going to whip right along. There's sure a lot of teams in the NFL. It's almost like, good gosh, you ought to get drafted. All right, Skylar Gill Howard. I was so happy to see him get drafted.
Yeah.
Really good guy. Had a tough break and all, not being able to finish the season. All right, he was 6th round, 205th player picked, and it was considered a B+.
That's good.
A boy plus, B+ for the Detroit Lions, and they had a B overall rating for their draft. But so that was a great pick in the 6th round for the Detroit Lions. Now then, we're going to get over here to, bear with me, the suspense Bills. Goodness, I should have gone through this.
You could have put them all together on one page.
Well, I could have. That would have taken effort.
Yeah.
All right. Miami Dolphins. They took back-to-back Red Raiders. Jacob Rodriguez, 2nd round, 43rd pick. That was considered a what, David?
I would say that's an A-.
It is an A.
Good.
Now then, with the 3rd round, 75th player picked, Caleb Douglas, wide receiver, Texas Tech. That was a
B+.
That was the worst rating I've seen. Now, I'll probably look a little closer. There might have been a worse rated player and this is the 3rd round. Now, if he'd have gone in the 6th round, he might have got a B or not.
Yeah.
This was a D.
Whoa.
Like dog plus. So they don't think Caleb Douglas was a very good pick for the 3rd round, 75th player pick. But the Dolphins overall got a B+, even though they had nobody lower than a B except for Caleb Douglas, a D+. So anyway, all right. Now then, let's go to Baron Martin. Round 4, the 234th player picked in the draft. What was he?
What do you want? I don't.
A, B, C, D?
Oh. I think he was a B.
He was a B. A B for the 7th round
you hear it.
to get him. David Bailey, 1st round, number 2 pick. What was he, David?
A+.
A C-. So they felt like
this is a flawed grading system, I can tell you.
Felt like he was not for that round. Romello Hyatt, edge rusher, Texas Tech, 3rd round, 70th player picked. He was a what, David?
A B-.
An A. So they're not picking on Tech because they've got a lot of A's and B's in there for Tech. Of course, they didn't much like Caleb Douglas or David. So anyway, that was the draft, and we might talk more about the draft when we come back. I would say we probably will not. But either way, we'll be right back.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Let me see here. We are in Las Brisas.
Don't get much better than that.
Fine dining right there. I'm telling you. We were out there last week, and it's so good. Great atmosphere. Lots of different kind of venues out there to eat in, outside, inside, the bar with the big TVs. It is just a fun place. Buddy Beach and that whole crew does a tremendous job. Back when Tech brings people in, and Curt Langford may know this too. I'm sure I already know he knows it. But if they're trying to impress people, they take them to Las Brisas. That could include athletes or whoever.
That or Red Lobster, one or the other.
That or Red Lobster. Yeah, there's no comparison. Las Brisas is one of the finest restaurants in this part of the world. Also, Lubbock. Oh, well, I'm going to do Lubbock truck sales when we come back because I can't do what I need to do in 8 seconds. Sometimes I can.
Lubbock Sports Station with Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby on Double T 97.3.
All right, Lubbock Truck Sales. This is the Kinsey family, Cody Kinsey, James Kinsey. And, you know, you wonder, we have Lubbock Truck Sales. They do so much for our community, for Tech football, that big truck for Texas Tech band, the big truck. They help Friendship and Cooper, a bunch of others. They can fix buses, these cruiser coaches or whatever they're called. And all these schools now have all these buses. I call them buses. and they can fix them out at Lubbock Truck Sales.
And you know what? Those old yellow dogs.
Yeah.
You probably had people out there that could
They
fix
fix
an old
those
yellow
too.
dog.
Yeah.
But this new stuff, you best
Little
go.
fancier.
Don't let Gomer over there in the work on that bus.
Plus, they don't have any place to put it. They can't get it in their shop. They've got it at Lubbock Truck Sales. You can get it in there and everything else. But huge supporters. But I wonder about. We do this trucks, and I go, well, people don't really have trucks. Go drive around. Oh my gosh, thousands and thousands of trucks everywhere.
Let's get on I-20.
Yeah.
I think there's a truck for every car on I-20.
Yeah. It's down the Permian Basin. It may be more than that. So you Permian Basin people, Lubbock Truck Sales is your source. All right. Curt Langford's here.
Wait a minute. Before you introduce our guest, I'm going to get past this because we will forget because we're fixing to get involved with Curt's conversation. We won't think about this. Mark Finkner just texted in, voice of the Lady Raiders. They're not the Lady Raiders, though, are they?
They're the Red Raiders.
Red Raiders.
Only the basketball team's the Lady Raiders.
Okay. Tell Texter, thank you for the kind words. This is from Mark, from Fink. Need to finish with a win. Be first in the country to 50 wins with a win today. If we get to the finals of the Big 12 tourney next Saturday, holler and I'll give you a preview. Have a great weekend. We'll have a great weekend if we win 3 ball games today. 1 softball, 2 baseball, and then I guess tomorrow would help make a weekend. So anyway, thanks, Fink. We look forward to it.
I love Fink.
No, he does a great job. I mean, basketball and softball. He's just fun to listen to. That's not always the case.
Well, he's excited.
Yeah, he's excited.
He's plugged in.
You're going like, what happened? Something happened. Well, Curt Langford, he is the head guy of the Texas Tech Alumni Association, and finally
been on a tour of Texas.
That's a big
that's
time
your job,
deal.
isn't it?
Been tumbleweeding a little
They're
bit this
everywhere.
week. Yeah,
Tell us where you've been this week.
It's like, where is the office these days, right?
Yeah.
And, it's where our people are. But I'm in and out all the time. You never know exactly where I'll be. But our alumni chapters are just so active.
Well, how many chapters do we have across
We're up
the
to
country?
113, about 4 or 5 more
gosh.
percolating. So it's growing. It's on the upswing. So that's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We have one in Nashville.
We do.
'Cause
You
Tom
reckon?
Law and-
I think, Tom's been very active. In fact, we're kind of scheduling a big event there this fall that he's going to go to a larger radius and try to draw some people well outside of Nashville. We're going to have an alumni event there.
It's funny, Gary. You think in Nashville that we have a Texas Tech football game. They'll have 20, 30, 40 people.
Oh, yeah.
At an event watching the Tech football.
Tom's
All
been
Red
great.
Raiders.
That's what we need. We need these anchor points, these key individuals in various communities to kind of take the lead. And Tom is great.
He's no saddle tramp. You know.
Yeah, that's good. Tom's
Well,
good.
you
too.
talk about Nashville, Phoenix. My niece.
That's where I met her. Yeah.
Is big out in that chapter. She's going to be in town this coming weekend.
Talk about Whitney.
Good. Yeah.
Whitney
Whitney
Ashby. We'll be back. They're bringing my brother's ashes back, and we're going to take some of them out to the baseball field, and some of them just around, and then the other side of the family that's coming in, and then we're going to do the same with my sister. They both passed away in the last 6 months.
Several years ago, I was at that Phoenix event, and that's when I met your brother. I didn't know it at the time.
Okay.
But,
I'm surprised they got him out because he didn't get out much.
Yeah, well, he was there.
But he was a big Red Raider, without a doubt.
Old Butch. He was awesome. He was a great guy.
Well, anyway, Whitney will be in town this coming weekend.
Good.
All right. What we want to have you on today about is gambling. What do you know about gambling?
About as much as David.
Yeah.
I just know that.
I bet you know less than David.
I don't know much about it other than it's a real problem. But I'm confused as to how you can. I think you referenced it earlier. How you can take so much advertising money from this stuff, and then
Say
kind
this
of
is
take a
evil.
different stance on the other side.
That's that's my
a
problem.
bit of a conflict there, I think. So
Well, it's like you're endorsing it.
yeah,
And then, of course, you're going to slap everybody down if you do it.
right.
Quit endorsing it. Tell them, no, we do not accept gambling advertising money
Yeah.
in the NCAA.
Yeah.
You cannot advertise on any of our stuff.
I'd be scared to know how many of our students are really embedded into it.
I'm going to say we're probably like the national average, which they say is 75% of the males. I don't know about the females. I'd like to think they're smarter than the males, but maybe they're not. Sort of like weed. Weed is legal in a lot of states, but it's not legal in this country. And you're going,
How's that work?
how's that work? I mean,
Well, didn't President Trump just make it something? He signed something.
It's like smoking and non-smoking sections, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like,
Most people, unless they're our age, don't know about non-smoking.
Yeah,
but there
that's
used to be
right.
smoking on airplanes.
yeah.
well, and really when they started going to non-smoking, Kurt, you may be old enough to remember this, but I really didn't think that was going to work. I thought the smokers would not allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But it happened, and thank goodness it did.
Remember, that was Muse Airlines' differential. They were the non-smoking airline. That's how
they got
How
started?
they kind of marketed themselves.
Good call.
I don't even remember them.
Muse
They were out of business.
didn't last long. I think they were absorbed.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, nowadays, it's like back in the 50s, everybody smokes. Everybody was smoking and didn't think a thing about it. And nowadays, if you smoke, it's like you got leprosy or something. Get away.
I remember growing up at church, all the many of them church leaders out on the porch smoking. They weren't smoking inside, but they were out on the front
That's
porch
nice of
smoking
them,
after
wasn't it?
church.
Oh, Andy. I don't think Barney smoked.
Andy Griffith, yeah.
But Andy, they would smoke on TV.
He was smoking, blowing smoke on Opie while he's telling him how to live.
Yeah, tell him a story.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
So we've come a long way when it comes to smoking.
I appreciate them
Without
not
a doubt.
smoking in the church, though. I know what you're talking.
I wasn't expecting to be talking about this when I got here. I told some friends, I said, you never know where it's going to go.
That's right. Well, we're going to reel it back in.
Yeah.
All right. Where have you been this week? And give us your spiel that you.
Well, we had the big weekend, with the straight concerts, and that was pretty awesome. A lot of fun.
Okay, was that picture with you and George? Is that legit or did you doctor
Of course,
that?
it's not legit. So, Brett Weingartner in the office had a little fun with that. Got on ChatGPT and he texted that to me, and I looked at it and I was like, "Holy cow! When was I with George?" I'm like, "When did?"
Oh man, I thought assuming.
So
George,
I had a little fun with it Saturday night and put a little text to it and said, George joined us for the after party, and made a Red Raider out of him, and I couldn't believe it. And then this next trip, I got so many texts and people coming up, "What's George like?
Yeah.
That is so awesome that he's a Red Raider now," and all this stuff. And I said, that wasn't a real picture.
Well,
And they bought it. And I'm like,
you're part
holy
of the fake news deal.
well,
man.
that's where I feel bad because I feel
guilty.
like but I thought it would have been so obvious. Nobody would have thought that was real. I said there was no after party.
I would have thought it would be.
Well,
real.
we had an after party. He couldn't be there. He had to be at Amarillo by morning. So there was no way he was going to be there. So, but I was really surprised at all these stops this week.
They all thought it was real.
Yeah.
Well, I
here's
showed
the-
it to Terry, and I said,
Look at
look
Curt.
what we missed. Look at
Big-
Kurt.
Had a lot of them asking, where can I buy one of those jackets that he's wearing? I was
Yeah.
like, that's not even a real jacket.
I know it. People want to know about the jacket.
All right, folks, you can't believe a darn thing you
Well,
hear
here's
nowadays.
the problem with this.
Yeah.
Kurt, they put you in a really great situation with George Strait. They could have put Kurt in a strip bar.
Oh, I know it. That we talked about
Holding
that.
dollar
No telling.
bills up.
No
And
telling
probably
what
will
they
at
could
some
do
point.
at some point.
And see, this is not good.
Well, hopefully people would know that's not Kurt. But
Well,
there were so many people that
she
said,
goes,
"Well,
that ain't real." And I said, I got no reason to think
Well, you're right. Most people that know you would definitely know that's not real.
Hopefully not, yeah.
But there'll be a whole bunch of people that thought, "What's Kurt doing there?"
Well, it's
I
just
did. I thought,
it's the
That's
reality.
great.
Not that long ago, that there was a post about Gerald that we had lost Gerald,
Yeah.
and I just panicked. I was like, "You got to be kidding!"
He's gone.
And I had I immediately put together a tribute, some pictures, of Forever One of Us, and I'm locked and loaded. And I texted Mike Gustafson. I said, "Can you believe this?" And he goes, "I hadn't heard that." And of course, he got with Brad Walker, and they got back and they said it's fake news. And I said, "Man, I'm glad I did not send that." But then I saw
You've been
Gerald.
part of it.
Your credibility is going to be shot. George Strait and Gerald.
He believes everything.
I ran into Gerald at a service on campus, and I told him, I said, I am so glad to see. I was talking to Tom McKee and all that. I had lunch with him that day, and I said, I am so glad to see that you're still around. He goes, well, I'm glad to still be around and all that. And I said, well, just know I've got your tribute written, and I'm ready.
It's ready.
I'm ready. It's locked and loaded. So.
Well, Lori, his daughter,
Yeah.
hit it pretty quick and said, "This is fake news."
Oh my goodness!
But they kind of the way they word it, it's not really saying he died, but that's what you assume.
What did they say?
Well, it's how they.
Well, they posted the tribute, posted that video tribute that
we'd lost him.
That we'd lost him,
and they don't say he died, but we've lost him.
Don't know where he is.
He's
wandered off.
We started playing hide and seek.
It's the trust but verify thing, right? So I'm glad that I went and verified it before doing that. So
That'd be
you
funny.
can trust me on that. But
Well, I wish I'd have verified that picture of George Strait.
The picture was, but I want people to know that George is
But that
hashtag one of
jacket-
us. He
that
got his guns
jacket-
up, and that was real.
That jacket he had on was cool.
Yeah, I'd like to get one of those.
They'll start selling them.
They
George
was-
Strait jacket.
It was a cool jacket.
The George Strait collection.
So that kind of kicked off the weekend. Early Monday, I flew to Dallas, got a car, and drove to Tyler. Our Tyler chapter hosted their golf tournament. Had the and I told you she's a former Diamond Doll. I mentioned that her name was Shauna Tankersley. That's her married name. It's Shauna Hurd, and she was a Diamond Doll back in the day, and she was a High Riders when I was texting you when they had their 50th reunion. Yeah. Well, she's the president of our Tyler chapter now, and Grant Ingram is very, very involved in the chapter there as well, and he works at the Tyler Chamber of Commerce.
Grant?
He's doing very, very well.
Good. Tell
He's
him
a
we
shot
said
in the
hello.
arm.
Tell him Gary and I said
Grant's a
hello.
good dude, and got to visit with him. Went and saw him at his office, and they had the most golfers that they've had, so they raised some scholarship revenue there. It was good to see a lot of alumni that I haven't seen in a long time. I think it's been 3 years since I've been there. And then from there, drove over to Abilene. Scott Deeser, First Financial, the bank there. They had a real nice celebration for Scott, celebrating 50 years. He's been at that bank for 50 years. His 50th
He's one of those
anniversary.
inside the loop people.
That's right. So there was several there from Tech representing and showing support to him, and it was really neat to see how many people he's influenced in the Abilene community that was there to show that love. And then from there, went on down. Amanda O'Connor, who's our former board member, she runs Cypress Station Restaurant there downtown Abilene. Great place to go if you
We got
ever
to
get
have
a
a
chance.
big group in Abilene.
Oh yeah, very good chapter. And then went down from there to Austin and had dinner and met with some alumni there. And then Marble Falls, our Highland Lakes chapter had a meeting, a lunch and learn, and.
Were you the
Chancellor
learn
Emeritus,
part of it?
Well, I was the lunch part of it, that's for sure. But I spoke a little bit, but Chancellor Emeritus Bob Duncan was there.
Oh, good.
And,
Does he live down there?
Yeah, he's down in that area in Horseshoe Bay. And we had about 50 people at that luncheon. It was really good at an Italian restaurant that's very popular in Marble Falls. And it was really good. And then worked my way back home, drove through those storms. Had a car that about hydroplaned off the road. There was a lot of water on the road just south of Yano.
Last night or night
late
before?
Thursday, late Thursday.
And so it really did rain.
I got spooked on that. I stopped at a bar in Llano, and just kind of waited the storm out. Got me an iced tea. And,
Dean Campbell lives in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's right. I stopped at Cooper's to say hi to Jason Wooten. He wasn't there. Jason Wooten's one of us. He runs that Cooper's barbecue there, and does a really good job. And
that's what you ought to. One thing you could do is put together a list of Red Raiders that own places in Dallas and Austin and Abilene. And
that'd be good.
And with Red Raiders, we'd all go.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
We would go there.
Now that Corky's passed.
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't know who to.
We need to know.
Well, it's not just restaurants. I mean, there's an old antique shop in downtown Cisco, Texas.
Business that a Red
and
Raiders.
There's a girl there, a lady there. She graduated in the 70s, and she runs that antique
Let's help
shop.
each other.
It doesn't have to be a hardback book. Just But
well, it's a business directory. That's something we've been talking about wanting to do.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's in the works, actually. That's something that we'll be having.
So we didn't have this great idea.
Well, we didn't know about the business directory.
That's right.
And Kurt.
So we did have a great idea. Just
we affirmed it. Now Kurt's going to go with it for sure.
certain ways to
He
pull
knows
that
there's
off.
a groundswell of interest in it.
There is nothing more enjoyable than, I just going and meeting with our alumni.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are, the chapter events and the organized events, but some of the most authentic encounters are the ones that were unplanned. I was sharing, if you followed the post, you saw it, but I ran into a fellow by the name of Randall Davis and graduated in 75. And
he's in my class.
he met his wife here on campus. He's originally from Dallas. He was a first generation Red Raider. And I'm walking into a restaurant in Tyler, and he's walking out, and he saw he saw my Tech shirt, and he just said, "Hey, guns up." So I go up to him and I said, "You go to Tech?" And he said, "Yeah." And he just immediately started talking about how, and it was one of the best decisions ever in my life. I can't tell you how that impacted my life. And he just started waxing poetically about the university, how he met his wife and got into the oil and gas business and moved to Tulsa and all these places. And he's retired now in Tyler. And it was just great to meet him. And then he asked, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, my name's Curt Langford. I'm with the Alumni Association." And I said, "I'm just loving hearing what you have to say." But I asked him, I said, "How long has it been since you've been back to campus?" And he goes, he said, I haven't been back in over 30 years.
Oh, my God.
And that just breaks my heart. And I'm like, you know what? You need to come back. You need to come back.
Wait till you see the campus and wait till you see Lubbock.
Oh.
It is so different.
You can try to explain that, but you can't. But I got a follow-up email from him. We exchanged, got him plugged in. He's going to have coffee with Grant, get plugged in with the Tyler chapter.
Good.
And I got a 7-paragraph email from him.
Wow.
Sharing his memories and his thoughts on Landman. He talked about Landman. He said, "That's not an accurate depiction of our business."
They all say that.
In fact, that guy would probably be the ugliest male student on the campus. The guy that on
Well,
Landman.
it was great to meet him.
We'll be right back.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All right, let me tell you about 2 or 3 places here. River Smith's one of them, and we love River Smith's. Right here at 5th and Avenue Q, huge restaurant, meeting rooms in the back, and it's just delicious food. You don't really think, but they really take great care in how they prepare their food every day.
Chris is a professional. He wants it to be, and a perfectionist, and you can see it in every little aspect over there.
They're awesome.
Best onion rings anywhere.
They're delicious.
I had the joy of meeting with Chris when we went to Ruidosa to do the feed when they had the fires. And that was David Deason and I rode with him.
Isn't that good?
Well, Chris has got a good heart too.
A good heart. He's a good person.
Fine fella.
All right, and let me tell you about the 5th and Avenue Q. That's where River Smith's is, and they can cater big time for you as well.
Or medium time.
Or medium, or small, or whatever.
We now return to Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby on Double T 97.3.
Hey, the Ross Course, the Texas Tech Golf Course, and I know y'all have events out at the Ross Course, Curt, because it is the place.
Yeah.
It is the golf course, and they take such great care of you. If you're having a tournament, they will do it. Just go play for fun out there. It is a fun course. Different design than you're used to anywhere around these parts. It is really
The neat thing about the Raws is, they've got that big lake to pump out of. And so when we're going through a stretch like we're going through right now, it's still green and lush and good looking. So
we're blessed to have that course. When they had the 25th anniversary of the Rawls gift to College
Jerry
of Business.
Rawls,
Jerry was here, and I went up to him and I just thanked him. I said, "We are so blessed to have that." And I've mentioned that when he played in the Alumni Cup one
Did you
time.
give him a Roger Goodell hug?
Well, I shook his hand, but that was it. But no, our Alumni Cup is going to be September 25th. That's the Friday before.
We'll know that. September
right before
25th.
the Sam Houston State game. So I'd love to have you all play. And
is it Saturday
get
morning?
People to mark that on their calendar. We'll do a morning and an afternoon flight.
We'll have
That's
to
our
be in the
plan.
afternoon.
Yeah.
well, when's the game?
It'll be it's on Saturday. So it's Friday.
Our tea time's during the game.
It's at 2:00.
That's been a great tournament. Jay there and the Bammer and the
Jay
folks
Thomas and
Bammer is
a
wonderful
hoot, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's great.
He go gets it.
They took good care of us.
Did we ever ask Bammer where he got his name?
Yeah, we did.
I don't think his parents named him Bammer.
I
Did
don't
they?
think so. I think the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bam Bam.
Bam Bam.
Yeah, that's probably where he got it. We'll have Bammer on again. He's hard to get on because he's working all the time.
That's right.
He is. Saturday's the big day out there.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
Because it's one of the best places for tournaments.
It's a beautiful
that there
It
course.
is. It's
Beautiful
so
course.
fun. So fun.
Without a doubt. All right, then Austin, Marble Falls, back to Lubbock. How often do you do a gig like that? A
Well,
5-day,
this one
city
was
tour?
fairly unusual. It's just a bunch of things that bounced together, and it made sense to do that. But we got chapter events going on all the time, so just trying to ping pong back and forth and try to get a presence. I think it was 3 weeks prior to that I did the Coastal Swing, and we had our Raider Road Show in McAllen, which is always a very, very effective road show, and our chapter there is involved. And went from there and went to the Corpus chapter, the Rockport chapter, and and then another random encounter with someone in Galveston that has agreed to be our president of our Galveston chapter, which I think was kind of a God thing. We found somebody and they've agreed to their son. They went to Tech and their son just graduated in the Tech band and they're retired in Galveston. And I said, look, I need a leader down here. And he just texted me back 2 days ago and said, we've talked about it. We're going to do it. And then from there, went on up to Houston, and all the Houston chapters combined in a golf tournament there. So sometimes you'll have some swings with a lot of things going on together. But then we have a lot of events going on here on
How many
campus.
chapters in Houston?
There's-
I would assume there'd be one.
No, goodness, no.
but I
We got
would
West
be
Houston,
dumb.
North Houston. We got South Houston in the central area. When I say South Houston, that's really down in the Clear Lake area. And they work together and collaborate, and then they have their own events. Because if you haven't been there a while, it takes a while to drive around that city. You get stuck in traffic. So the Houston chapters are really growing. And people forget this or they don't know this, but Harris County, did you know Harris County is now the second largest feeder to Texas Tech?
Is it
outside
really?
of the Metroplex, yeah.
That is
There's been
so.
so much growth. So when we say it's all West Texas, that's true. With the Houston Rodeo and all the scholarships that they do and all of that. So Houston.
Say that again.
Harris County is the
right
second
down-
largest feeder to Texas Tech.
And the
That's
largest
it's a big
is-
county. Well, you think about the Metroplex area, and then of course in the Lubbock area and all of that. But the Metroplex historically has been where we get the majority of the students. But the Double T is far more prominent now in South Texas.
It's big,
in
and
Houston.
boy, the Double T's prominent everywhere.
That's right. That's right.
It's the most amazing thing. I will tell you this: that Sid Chance, who listens every Saturday, is a Red Raider. He says, David, ask him the name of the little town where the antique store is.
Oh, Cisco.
Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco.
It's a Red Raider owned in Cisco.
Yeah, I wish I could remember her name. I posted at the time when I went through there.
And
but
when you go in there, be sure you say something about Texas Tech when
Yeah.
you go in there.
Well, if you got
If we can
something,
come up with the name.
if you got something, if you're wearing Texas Tech, she'll call you out.
What town?
That's
What
for
town
sure.
is it?
Cisco.
Cisco.
Well, there can't be. Well, I don't know. There's probably a few antiques.
It's on the main. It's on the main street. down
Cisco's
there.
sort of an antique itself, so
Yeah.
there probably are a few antiques.
Who was
It's
the
just
guy?
down the road from the Hilton Museum, that old Hilton Hotel
Yeah.
Museum.
Who was the guy that owned that in Seymour, that gas station right there on the corner? He was Red Raider, and all the Red Raiders would stop there. I think he sold it,
Yeah, I think so.
but it was Red Raider
So
stop.
he won't be in our new book.
No, he's not going to make the
he
new
sold
book,
it.
but he was good.
When you say Seymour, I immediately think of Rock Inn Cafe
Yeah.
and coconut.
Johnny Frank Martin, fraternity brother of mine.
Oh, Johnny Frank.
Old Johnny Frank. All right. You probably heard my phone ding.
Yeah.
Very important text. And I'm going to get to it right now. It's that important to us.
Okay.
Hey, guys. I heard you talk about all these people that are hard to get on because they're so busy. Well, I must be the busiest man in the world because I haven't been on in far too long. Miss you guys. Let's connect soon. Tom Stone.
Oh, how about
He's
that?
one of our favorites. So you are welcome on anytime, Coach Stone.
Very inspirational. Good speaker.
He's one of the all time greats.
We'll have a lot to talk to him about, not only soccer,
good.
but his boy Leighton. I think Leighton's going to be a superstar at Tech.
Yeah.
Before it's all said and done as a receiver.
right.
I can't wait to see it. But Jan, my wife, said this. There are tons of apps. We were talking about gambling.
Yeah.
There are tons of apps and for teens that entice them into placing bets. Example, will the weather be hot today? What will the temperature be today? Pay $1 and win, stuff like that. These things are way too accessible. Way too accessible.
Well,
It takes too much time. It's not productive.
and we've been waiting for facts to come out on this deal, so we're not going to get too deep into the story because we don't know the facts. We know a bunch of crap that's out there. In fact, I think I saw a picture of him with George Strait, and George was wearing his Texas Tech jacket. So, but we don't know if that was really him, George. But we'll get into it a little more in depth when we have facts. I heard that he was betting on balls and strikes, and that crap, you could bet 1,000 bets in a weekend on balls and strikes.
Right.
So when we get some facts, we'll roll up our sleeves and get after it. In fact, I want to have somebody from Gamblers Anonymous on and see what the big problems are. I don't know if the kid has a problem with gambling or not. I know there's lots of kids that gamble. Every kid that gambled does not have a problem.
Right.
I don't know check himself into rehab or not. If he did, then he has a problem, or he wouldn't go.
Well, okay, I could take the other side of that. I'm not going to. I think from a perspective standpoint, he almost had to do that. Now, whether he has a problem or not, almost had to do that. Now, time will tell.
Again, there's an inside story, and I trust our people to handle it appropriately.
I can tell you, if you gamble, and you'll have a problem. You will have a problem. It does not lead to no problems.
Right.
It just naturally progresses, and you get worse and worse, and you get more and more involved as you go.
Deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And
but
It's true of all these things.
here's a PSA. All you have to do is double up to catch up.
yeah. If you got enough money, you can
To
get
dig out of the hole, huh?
Yeah, just double up to catch up.
There's problem is so many people can't double up.
There's been many a robbery caused from people trying to double up to catch up, trying to cover that double up to catch up.
Well, I'm very sympathetic to it, and I don't know, Sorsby's specific situation, but as I mentioned before, there's a lot of students that are caught up in this.
Oh.
And it is concerning.
No way around it.
It is concerning. And again, I just sit there and I'm just kind of bewildered how ESPN or the market and the advertising can be so prominent, and yet we can turn.
Encouraging them.
Yeah, that's what's odd to me.
Yeah.
And social media is probably worse than what we see on
When's
TV.
the tipping point when we'll finally start being honest with ourselves on this kind of stuff?
Well, gambling was a big enough problem when it was hard to do.
Sure.
When it was hard to find a
hidden.
bookie and it was hidden. But now it's just out there, and it's like, come on in, said the spider to the fly.
And then when they get you, they just slap you down because you got involved. Well, let's take away the things that make it so easy for us to get involved.
Be interesting to get Pete Rose's thoughts on it now, right?
Yeah. Be really interesting to get him now.
He died.
Yeah, he's dead.
Darn.
So we'll have a hard
I was
time.
going to get him on.
He's dealing with other
Well,
issues
here's
now.
the deal, Gary. We can create an AI Pete Rose and
A
have
picture
him
of
on
you
the
with
show.
Pete. There we go.
Yeah.
We can just create it.
We'll have Pete wearing a great-looking Texas Tech jacket.
Yeah. Here's Pete Rose on our show.
Oh my goodness. My
It's
goodness.
just
But back in the day, the controversy and kind of like what Gary was saying, before it was harder to do, and I think you could kind of see the conversation go in that direction where they were trying to normalize it, like Pete was kind of being unfairly punished maybe for something, but
Once
that was
again,
a stigma. It
you'd
was
like to
always
know
there.
all the truth,
Right,
the true
exactly.
story.
Right.
And I've said this 100 times on this show. If Pete was betting on the Reds to win, got no problem with it. I think all of them should have to bet on their team to win.
yeah.
Right.
So now if
In
you
other
bet
words,
on
ought to
or
be
lose,
mandatory.
Well, he's
You're
fully
mandatory. $1,000 a
incentive
game.
you must
to win.
bet.
Mhm. But who
I wouldn't
knows?
mind that at all. That'd make you really serious about winning.
Yeah.
But I wish we could have Brendan on. We can't even have anybody that knows anything about it though on. Just like you, Curt.
Right.
You don't know. We don't know.
No. Just
Well,
speculate.
and
we did.
even if Curt did know something,
He shouldn't tell it.
he wouldn't tell it. Would you?
Probably not.
What do you know?
I don't know.
All right, on your tour of
yeah,
Texas,
yeah.
what was your spiel? What were you getting across to people? Did they ask questions about Sorsby? Was that part
Actually,
of
that didn't come up.
Didn't come up, okay.
Obviously, athletics. There's some of the conversation is that. But we've been really focusing on kind of the academic mission and what Tech is achieving and scholarship dollars and what we're doing. How boring. No, it's not. It's a great story. It's exciting. And because, we build on each other. The success of one leads to the other and the other success. And that's what you kind of see, the trajectory of the Double T, the trajectory of Texas Tech is climbing. We just rose 44 spots in the Forbes list.
Oh, wow. This are all great. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we would.
Mm-hmm.
But do you need help? I mean, because this whole thing's been reorganized now.
Yeah.
And you have some really great people that were helpers.
As far as help, membership is still the key.
Good.
We're still essentially the annual giving for the university, and the Alumni Association is still going, and our mission is exactly the same.
Are we better than ever?
I am very encouraged. President Skuvinik is obviously very supportive.
How about that
He
guy?
told me he said, Curt, we want y'all to double down on all the good things that y'all do. And that's enabled us to kind of focus on the good stuff. And I'm not having to find third-party revenue to float a 501c3 boat. And you're seeing the university even more committed to our initiatives, which is good. An example of that is the ring ceremony last fall, and the ring ceremony, 2 Sundays ago, were the biggest ring ceremonies we've ever had.
That's good.
And that's great. So I think our prominence is growing more on campus. And we've been working and collaborating with the On and On campaign. In fact, on May 28th, Tech Night at the Rangers. I want to get that out there for everybody. I know you got a lot of Metroplex listeners.
You need to say that.
Tech Night at the Rangers, and really good to see Josh Young turning it around, getting hot.
Oh, my gosh, he's playing great.
And so we look forward to being in his corner that night. We had 3,200 people there last year, and we anticipate a big crowd again. But the On and On campaign.
How many did you have?
3,200 people.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and they had the jersey, young jerseys with a double T on the shoulder.
Good grace. They did it upright.
Yeah, it was all in on that. And the Texas Live, we're going to do a pregame event at Texas Live and then flow into the stadium with a whole Red Raider seating block for Tech Night at the Rangers. And so that'll be big, May 28th.
That is
That's
a
an
big
annual
deal for
tradition.
Tech.
Yeah. We do another one with the Astros later on. But
Who throws out the first pitch? We've had different people over the years.
Well, they've got Joey scheduled for it. So
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Good. He's a good one.
Yeah.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.